This industry is here to stay. Creators will keep changing. The creator who was popular 5 years ago will probably not be popular today, but you're still consuming content. At this point, we are all hooked. We are all addicts. So we like that cheap rise in dopamine constantly. It keeps us distracted. It keeps us to not think about life for a few moments. If you have all the anger in the world, just go to the gym, leg workout करके आओ, सारा anger निकल जाएगा.
पर
That's it.
humble भी हो जाओगे.
I think things work out for people that are generally willing to take risks.
Like who pays on the date?
I don't know why this is such a big debate on the internet.
Yeah, let's settle.
Do men should pay on all dates? कितने का बिल आता है तुम्हारा यार?
आपका एवरेज कितने का आता है?
2,000 रुपए एट बेस्ट, 2,500 रुपए, 4,000 रुपए.
And then pick a place that's in your budget. Now who's stopping you?
That फैमिली के साथ रहते हो इंडियन हाउस होल्ड में. एज अ guy you have to do nothing. You don't even have to wash your clothes. You don't have to make food. You don't have to even get up and open the door. मतलब उतनी भी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी नहीं है तुम्हारी. रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी छोड़ो, एक्सपेक्टेशन ही नहीं है तुमसे, क्योंकि तुम बिगड़ी हुई औलाद ही हो बचपन से. When I was in school, we lost a lot of money in the stock market in the 2008 crisis. We had to sell off our house, sold off mom's jewelry, the last treasure you have within your house. So things got really, really bad. And at that point, it was just how do you make sense of life?
Hi Viraj, welcome to Men's XP.
Hi Sadhika, thank you for having me.
Oh, it's a pleasure. I just feel like we have lots to talk about. And of course, we'll talk about content. But before we get into that, let's get to know Viraj Sheth as a person.
Okay.
You know, because I just feel like you've spoken a lot about what works and, like predicting content and making great content and the life and span of, like creators. But let's talk about you. Let's talk about how you created your own journey.
Okay.
So,
This
let's
feels
start.
like you're putting me in a spot, but I'll take it.
I love that. That's my favorite pastime.
I'm an engineer. I'm born and brought up in Bombay, in Mumbai.
Bombay.
Yeah. See, I'm born and brought up in Bombay, so I can say Bombay. I was really fascinated by media, advertising generally, even when I was a child. Although I scored really well in my languages and social sciences, I topped French and English in my school.
Wow.
But it's like India में होता है कि यार तुम लड़के हो, तुम आर्ट्स लोगे, ये क्या बात हुई? So in that peer pressure, I ended up taking engineering. I took science, then moved to engineering. I didn't want to do engineering at all.
Said every engineer ever.
That's true. क्योंकि मतलब पढ़ाते भी ऐसा है यहाँ पे कि it's of no value really. But what's valuable in that journey is the things you learn. How do you manage stress last moment and stuff like that. So that's really helped me in the journey. I come from I don't want to play this whole middle class card. I do come from a really middle class family, but more so what happened is when I was in school in my 8th standard, 9th standard, we lost a lot of money in the stock market in the 2008 crisis. So much so that we had to sell off our house and move to a smaller place. At that point, very weirdly enough, we had to choose whether we can go to Pune or Ahmedabad. And for some hunch that I had, and at this point, we've also sold off mom's jewelry. And that is the last sort of, treasure you have within your house. So things got really, really bad. And at that point, it was just, how do you make sense of life? I really didn't want to move out of Bombay at all because मेरे हिसाब से Mumbai is the best city in India and it is the land of opportunity. So if I would have moved to any other city, I would have felt a lot of loneliness and I would have felt out of place. So I was maybe 15 or 18 or something like that. I didn't understand a lot कि क्या हो रहा है. I have an elder brother and he protected me a lot. He didn't let me face a lot of that trauma. At that point, I came across this website, magicbricks.com, and I was like, let me look up some houses here. And by pure luck, we were able to find a house like 10 minutes away from us, much smaller, of course. But I just told my parents, let's please move here and let's not go to another city. And I think that was one defining moment generally in my life, because if I would have moved cities, I would probably not have had this career and this life. So it's been a little hectic. I do feel like there is some privilege because I was able to study in a CBSE board. तो मेरे थर्ड ग्रेड में मुझे 99% आ गए थे. So the issue with that is my mom is like, there is no chance my kid is this smart. तो उन्होंने मेरी स्कूल ही चेंज करवा दी.
Oh my God! Wow.
So I was in a state board, and then she moved me to a CBSE board, and I think that is another defining moment in my life, that was able to improve my linguistic abilities, my speaking skills way more, because I was in a CBSE board. I think these two things were in a way very defining to just ensuring I stayed in Bombay. I got the right kind of education, and I was able to make the right use of it.
But it must have been tough. I mean, for a child to not know what's happening, but still see so much around you change.
Yeah.
And I mean, you spoke about, like getting to a point where you had to sort of give up your mom's jewelry.
Yeah.
I know that it's not just a financial decision, it's an emotional decision.
Oh, it is.
Because I know the emotion with which a woman starts saving jewelry, right? Because
Completely.
they want to save it for their kids, they want to save it for their daughters or their
Yeah.
sons and their, like wives whenever they'd come in.
Yeah, I think there was a lot of uncertainty during that period, and it was a 5 to 6 year period, super uncertain. We were asset rich because we had a house still in Mumbai, and that's a big deal in itself. But we were cash poor, so we didn't actually have money for even daily expenses sometimes, which was a little difficult to navigate. Luckily, I had an elder brother. He started working at the age of 18. He's a professor now, and he started taking classes, CA classes at that age. And I know he is paid for my college fees. So I owe it big time to him, that, because he was able to ensure that I didn't have to discontinue education and whatnot. I am where I am. So it's difficult, but I think it really preps you for life. And I also feel like trauma really helps you build fortitude. Or trauma nahi hai na, to life mein maza nahi hai. So, I mean, of course, I can look back now and think, yeah, okay, this is nice, we overcame it, and there's a feeling of pride and achievement. But wo time pe bahut फटती थी.
So how would you process it at that time? Would you talk to your friends? Would you just confide with your brother? Or would you internalize it like most men do?
Yeah. Talking to friends, what? Therapy wasn't even a thing at that point. Talking to friends also was seen as a sign of weakness. So I would just, in my mind, have that hero edit going on. In my mind and my brother's mind, we had just one single thought, one track mind, कि अब हम वो घर जो बिका है वो हम वापस खरीदेंगे. This is a very Om Jai Jagdish moment where हम खरीदेंगे ये घर वापस. And I mean, touch wood, at this point we can buy that house back, but it's bad memories, and we don't want to go there.
Yeah.
So you internalize it, you try to make yourself stronger. That trauma takes you somewhere. So for me, that trauma took me to a place that I don't ever want my parents to be in a situation like this ever. I want them to be fulfilled and happy and never have that anxiety of पैसे होंगे कि नहीं घर पे. So that's how I led my 20s. Just one track mind. I need to ensure that I am making something of myself. I'm building a solid career, and I'm making my parents proud, and I'm making money ethically and not by selling cocaine or whatever else.
Yes, that's the job for kids these days. Which I'm not endorsing. You guys shouldn't be doing it.
Yes,
Get out of that
cocaine.
washroom. Yes, throw that shit out.
Yeah.
But did that change the way, or did that shape your relationship with money very differently?
Oh, completely.
Because from where I look at, I don't think it would be a very net positive equation.
Yeah. No, I mean, there was always anxiety about any and all kinds of money, right? It's like कि अगर 10 रुपए आ भी रहे घर में, it will feel like कि अरे ये चले ना जाए. Also because, I mean, and big ups to my mother, because she really handled the household during that time, and she kept us all together, and she kept her own cool. And I can't even begin to imagine the kind of trauma that she has. And very interestingly, the five of us, me, my brother, my parents, and my brother's wife, we sat together and we just spoke of, we trauma bonded, and we realized, oh shit, there's so much that we're still holding back. And that felt like a unique experience कि यार इंडिया में तो ये सब नहीं होता है. इंडिया में ये
Movies
होता
में होता
है
है.
च्यवनप्राश खा लो, ये सब कुछ नहीं होता है. थेरेपी और कॉन्वर्सेशंस
Yeah.
ये कुछ नहीं होता है. So that felt nice, and that felt like my equation with money. I just frugality was developed as a habit and became second nature. Um, till date, like I haven't bought a home. I invest most of my money as a guy living in Mumbai who already has a parental home. Although I don't live with my parents, I don't really have a lot of expenses besides my rent and petrol. So I mean, yeah, I think
So you're a
frugality
frugal
became.
kid.
Yeah, I'm super frugal, and I invest like 80 to 90% of my money.
Wow, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll take investment tips from you.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. But okay, coming back to where your education took you further. So
Yeah.
you were doing engineering.
Yeah.
How did you end up in this space?
Right. So, I mean, see, when I was doing engineering, there was this second या third semester में एक दो केटी लग गई थी. ठीक है.
केटी क्या होता है?
केटी बैक.
अच्छा बैक.
बैक,
ठीक है,
हाँ.
got it, हाँ.
मुंबई में केटी बोलते हैं. ठीक है. तो फेल हो गया था एक दो सब्जेक्ट में, एंड आई वाज एट एन ऑल टाइम लो. नो कॉन्फिडेंस, नो सेल्फ एस्टीम, not doing something I really wanted, and completely lost in life. At that point, I realized that I need to claim back my life. Even though I don't like it, I realized that I need to suck it up and I need to make
Change.
something of my life. क्योंकि ये पेस पे अगर चलते रहा तो कुछ नहीं होगा लाइफ में. 30-35 साल का हो जाऊंगा और क्लूलेस ही रहूंगा. And I don't like operating like that. I'm a person of high agency, and I like to believe that your destiny is in your own hands. So sounds cliche, but that's how I operate. So then I started studying, and I gave my GRE and all of that, scored well, changed my life back up. But then I was like, I still don't want to do this. यार मुझे engineering नहीं करनी है. मैंने masters के लिए apply कर लिया US में 4-5 universities में. So I was watching this show called Entourage at that point, and I was just watching a lot of shows during my last 2 semesters of college, क्योंकि cool बनना है, मतलब pop culture जानना पड़ेगा. अगर किसी से बात भी करनी है, कोई पार्टी में हो, तुम ये नहीं बोल सकते हो तुम अरिजीत सिंह को सुनते हो, है ना. ये तुम थोड़ी बोले तारक मेहता का उल्टा चश्मा देखता हूँ मैं. You need to be culturally educated.
Yeah, hip.
Yeah, you need to be hip, right? So Entourage was one of those shows, and I was like, wow, this seems like an interesting role to play. Like, you could be working in this industry, you could be representing artists, and you could be managing their business and their work. In India, that only existed in 2 spheres at that point, and this is 2015-16. It existed in Bollywood and it existed in cricket. Now, in both these places, I didn't have any kind of inroads, any kind of access. So in my mind, I was like, okay, ये तो नहीं होने वाला है, अब US का ही देखते हैं. And I mean, and that is when, I realized that ये नहीं होगा. By pure coincidence, Ranveer and I come from the same college. And we used to do a lot of work together. We've done internships together. We've sold stuff together, right? So at that point, he was doing some work in YouTube, and he was also clueless कि यार मुझे trainer नहीं बन के रहना है. He was a personal trainer. I can't be a personal trainer, man. That's not me. So he started doing some YouTube, and he found some success there. He had some 20,000-30,000 subscribers. He's like, I need someone to manage the business end of things for me, क्योंकि यार मुझे नहीं आता ये, मैं गुजराती नहीं हूँ, और मेरा एक ही गुजराती दोस्त है जो मुझे पता है कि यार ये मैनेज कर सकता है. So then we reconnected. I was like, okay, this seems interesting. I don't know anything about this space, but it's not that tough to figure out. So this is my last semester of college. I have applied to a lot of universities. But I'm also working on the deal flow for Ranveer. And I send a cold email to like 500 of these companies and I tell them that this is the cool new way to market. Influencer marketing बोलते हैं इसको, आपको पता नहीं होगा, मैं समझाता हूँ. So I've emailed the CEOs and CXOs of the topmost companies, including Nike, Adidas, all of that. At that point, as a 21-year-old kid, I had no idea that there is a whole agency ecosystem. There are PR teams of these companies who manage all these.
Yeah.
I was just being delusional, which I think, by the way, more people should be. You should just be delusional in your 20s. Take bigger risks.
Not in love. That's very dangerous.
I think also in love, in some ways, especially this generation, be a little delusional, as in take risks of falling in love. Take risks of being vulnerable, or else you will keep blaming it on nahi wo bande mein trauma hai, mere mein trauma hai. You know, it's just a loop. Anyway, coming back, I think so I cold emailed 500 people and of course
You
किसी
being
ने कुछ भाव
delusional.
नहीं दिया.
हाँ.
But 2 email का reply वापस आया.
Okay.
One of those emails was from the India CEO of Tinder.
Very interesting.
Yeah, Taru, her name is. And she responded saying, see, we've been doing a lot of things in this space. We'd love to do something here. So then I cracked the first deal with Tinder and Ranveer. And that video still exists on YouTube right now. I think if the title, if I'm not wrong, the title is "Ladki Kaise Pataye," 10 Tarike or something like that, right? And
Never
he
gets old.
gets trolled for this video even to date. But if you look at that video, it's just a clickbait title, but the video is actually about how to improve your communication skills, how to be chivalrous, and things like that. But made for a Hindi audience, so it really worked well. And then I was like, wow, you can make money sitting at home shooting a video. It just blew my mind. And that's when I realized there's way more that can be done in this industry. I told Ranveer, see, like, I can't be just a manager. I need to be doing bigger things. And then that's how I realized that I need to be organizing the space way more. कि ये बहुत ही cluttered space थी. 2 players थे, इन्फ्लुएंसर्स थी और ब्रांड्स थे. इन्फ्लुएंसर्स को ये नहीं पता था कि क्या चार्ज करना है ब्रांड को, कि व्हाट इज द बेंचमार्क ऑफ दिस. एंड ब्रांड्स वर लाइक, ब्रांड्स को पता नहीं था कि कौन से सही इन्फ्लुएंसर्स है. सो आई वाज लाइक, ओके, मे बी दिस इज अ स्पेस दैट कैन ग्रो. And India apes the West in many ways. So this was already a big deal in the US. So you would have your Logan Paul, Casey Neistat, PewDiePie of the world who were already making a good amount of revenue doing this. And this is about 2016, 2017 when your surge of individual YouTubers came up, right? Your Ashish Chanchlani, Prajakta Kohli, Bhuvan Bam. So I was like, ये bet ले सकते हैं, कुछ तो हो रहा है यहाँ पे. I was doing a consulting job at that point, by the way, which was from my placement in college.
Placement.
I was making 22,500 rupees in hand. I was making calls, primary, secondary research, all that. In 4 months, I told my mom that I want to quit because I want to do this. I want to do something in YouTube full time. My mom, of course, because that money anxiety was there, no, constantly. It's like, अरे 22,000 की जॉब है, क्यों छोड़ रहा है यार,
Safety,
अच्छा खासा पैसा
security
मिल रहा है. हाँ. And my brother again at that point was like, तू कर, मैं खड़ा हूँ, तू कर ले. And at that point, I knew that within a month's time, I will start making the kind of money I was making from my job, at least. So I told him, see, it's not really as much of a change. And I know this is only going to quadruple and it will increase more. And I'm betting on myself. So he knew I had conviction. He's like, I'll manage it. So that's how it started. That's how, you know, the company started, Monkey started. And then I was like, I really love doing this. And then it evolved in some way into that entourage type story, which is I am representing a lot of these cool creators and artists who I'm helping do business deals with. And I was like, wow, I like doing this. I don't like being the guy in front of the camera. I do love doing business deals for these people who are seeking fame and popularity. So that became what I ended up doing in my 20s.
Wow, I mean, it is sort of an incredible journey, because a lot of times, you see the person on a reel, you see how well they're doing right now, and you just
Yeah.
start associating yourself with their reality, present
Yeah.
reality, and not really everything that went behind in
Correct.
making you who you are.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that right now you've narrated the chain of events, but I wonder what kind of emotions you were
Yeah.
sort of managing through and navigating through during all that time, because you've taken a bet
Yeah.
yourself. You have no idea whether this will work out or not.
Yeah.
I'm sure there would have been moments of failure as well.
Oh yeah, there was like incredible amounts of moments of failure. But at that point ना I think वो जो इतना trauma आ गया था life में when I was 15, 16 years old, it didn't feel as big. Like that uncertainty in business didn't feel as hard. Maybe I ended up training myself by pure coincidence and out of no choice that it happened, but it really prepped me for the uncertainties in business. जैसे बहुत टाइम ऐसे हुआ था कि in a business like ours, the uncertainty is that tomorrow there's no guarantee that a certain creator or an artist stays with you. They'll move on, even if you've helped build them up so much. But so what, you've got to learn how to be detached from the outcomes. I mean, yes, this is big philosophical talk, but
Yeah.
I maybe have operated always like that. That does not mean I don't feel hurt. मुझे भी बहुत दुख होता है यार, कोई डील पे काम करो और डील वो फिर it doesn't come to life. क्या कर सकते हैं? You move on to the next deal. I think speed and pace and the way in which you recover from setbacks is the only way you navigate your life.
Yeah.
Otherwise, there are so many setbacks that happen on a daily basis in business. There is no chance you can recover from it. And then I think most of the times that businesses don't end up doing well is dependent on the mental fortitude of the founder.
Fair.
Right? If they are not able to take uncertainty, if they are not able to take negative emotions and regulate themselves, it gets tough to manage a business.
Yeah. So my father is a businessman.
Okay.
And we're Punjabi.
हाँ,
So Punjabi में ना we always say कि यार business करने के लिए ना जिगरा चाहिए.
100%.
And I do understand that now
Yeah.
when I've grown up, because I do understand that, listen, the bets that you're taking, it's
Yeah.
almost like, everything that you're doing right now, Instagram is always instant validation.
Yeah.
एक फोटो डाली 2 दिन में तुम्हें दिख जाएगा कि कितने लाइक्स हैं, कितने व्यूज है, एवरीथिंग.
Correct.
एक बिजनेस है, 2 साल तक पैसे डालते हो, 2 साल
Correct.
तक होप्स डालते हो, जीरो विजिबिलिटी.
Correct.
But eventually you'll get to a place where everything, where your effort starts compounding and you're seeing it in physical form.
Correct.
So I can only imagine that. And you started young.
Yeah,
And
I
you got
started
into business
22.
very young.
Yeah. Can I tell you the story? This when it comes to Jigra, really, एक time था when we had to take a decision of moving to a bigger space. हम जो current office space में थे वो कम पड़ रही थी. I think it was 1,200 square feet, and the number of people we ended up hiring, they didn't have enough desks and there was no place. So we had to make the decision of going to a bigger space, which was about 4,500-5,000 square feet. तो अब वो स्पेस भी अगर 5x है तो उसका रेंट भी 5x होने वाला है, और वो भी मुंबई की रेंट प्राइसेस है. इन माई माइंड आई वाज लाइक यार आई एम नॉट रेडी फॉर दिस. मुझे पता नहीं है कि कल को बिजनेस को क्या होने वाला है. सो आई रियली थॉट हार्ड फॉर 2 days कि यार ठीक है, छोटी वाली स्पेस ले लेते हैं, 2,000 स्क्वायर फीट ले लेंगे, मैनेज कर लेंगे. बट समथिंग टोल्ड मी दैट वन लाइफ, बेट लेनी है, क्या करना है, काम करना है ना, डील्स लानी है, देख लेंगे. So I just called up the my agent, real estate agent, and I was like, "Kar le book." And when I did that, I don't know what happened, but you feel that shiver in your body.
Yeah.
I was like, "Fuck, अब कर लिया है, अब तो फट रही है तो भी own up करना पड़ेगा." You have to put up a smile in front of everybody.
Yeah.
And I told everybody in the team, and they were all excited. But I know internally I was like shitting bricks. Like, इसका rent कहाँ से आएगा, boss? But I think things work out for people that are generally willing to take risks and willing to be brave.
Yeah.
Luck favors the brave. I am a big believer in that. And things worked out, and then now we are in a 10,000 square feet office. So I feel
touch
just,
wood.
yeah, touch wood. So I just feel like things work out if you want to work hard, and if you have a solid team around you. I think most founders don't pay heed to the team around them,
Yes.
right? कि हाँ मतलब सब everything is attributed मेरा struggle, मैं
Yeah.
self made हूँ, all that. But there have been way too many people who've been instrumental in the journey. If not for the team, I think वो rhythm set होना difficult हो जाता है. And these are the people that are, backing you, looking you in the eye when there's tough times, and choosing to stay back with you. Like we suffered through COVID, and like all of them were, for 2 months we had to take a pay cut, and they didn't say a single thing because they're like, dude, we are in it together. We understand कि यार business ही बंद हो गया है, मतलब कोई brands काम ही नहीं कर रही है, तो क्या कर सकते हैं.
Right.
And then we figured out ways to compensate of that, for that 2 months later. But just the fact that they stood by is important.
आई थिंक इट्स अ ब्यूटिफुल फीलिंग एंड जैसे बड़े लोग हमेशा ये वाली चीज़ बोलते थे ना कि कोई बात नहीं, पैसा नहीं कमाया, लोग कमाए हैं. आई जस्ट फील लाइक देर इज सो मच ब्यूटी इन दैट वन सेंटेंस, बिकॉज इफ यू हैव द राइट पीपल अराउंड यू, पीपल हु कैन स्टैंड विद यू, थ्रू थिक एंड थिन,
Yeah.
it just gives you very different sort of a backing.
Yeah, it feels like you have wings.
Yes.
Right? Yeah.
And that you have a safety net, and that
Yeah.
safety net might not be in the form of an emergency fund, but is
Yeah.
in the form of people who will just sort of be with you. So I think it's, it's a very interesting arc
Yeah.
that you've had in your life.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been good. I think we've just rode the wave right now on influencers, on content, on this industry. क्योंकि 10 साल पहले इंडस्ट्री एग्जिस्ट भी नहीं करती थी almost, and to be able to build something in that space that didn't exist and there was no benchmark in is pure luck.
Yeah.
It was just right place, right time. And I'm just lucky that it's ever evolving, from what it was 10 years ago to what it is now.
Yeah,
I
it's a
think
beast now.
it is a complete beast. You see so many people now, so many stories of people who come from nothing, who now have the right kind of resources, the right kind of popularity, the right kind of impact on uh, the masses. Again, earlier this was only reserved for cricketers and Bollywood.
Yeah, A-listers.
That's it. Now you see somebody who's popular on YouTube also have that kind of impact. I'm sure a lot of young women come to you and tell you that, I really watch your stuff and I'm really inspired. I really like your questions, etc. And I think something like this was almost impossible for a big set of people 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Now you could be somebody who's doing a travel vlog, somebody who's doing podcasting, somebody who's making music on the internet, and you could all have your own different sort of a fan base.
Yeah. Although, I do want to ask you something, and this is something that I have sometimes in my moments of weaknesses. In my moments of weakness.
Weakness. Yeah.
In my moments of weakness, this is something that I often wonder about. That this is a business, or this is an industry that almost came into existence out of thin air.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, one day did not exist, and the next day was an entire industry that people are sort of, trying to understand कि कितना करोड़ का business होगा, कितना turnover हो सकता है, what is the potential of the creator industry. Do you ever have those moments where you feel like, will it exist tomorrow? Because, like our parents had that mindset, right? कि या तो डॉक्टर बन जाओ या तो इंजीनियर बन जाओ, right? या फिर कॉमर्स कर लो, किसी कंपनी में like छोटे लेवल पे स्टार्ट करो and then work your way up, get to a partner level position, and then life is sorted. Those professions still exist, and you can still draw a lot of comfort from choosing any of these fields in terms of security, right? But do you ever have those moments where you feel whether or not this industry will exist 10 years later, because things are changing so dynamically,
right,
that you don't know what's going to happen?
I think the industry by itself will exist 10 years later also. The medium and the platform might keep changing. Like today, Instagram is popular. 10 years ago, Facebook was. 10 years from now, there will be some other platform that probably allows no AI content that will be popular, right? So you can't really tell which platform will rule. But I think the medium will exist because this, I feel, is now the era of the individual, where you will see many things like one person businesses, one person empires. You can see popular podcasters like Joe Rogan, running with a team of 5, 10 people maybe, who are able to build immense wealth. You see Mr. Beast, he's a dollar billionaire, and doesn't have that big of a team on a full-time payroll. So you're now able to see the rise of people who build distribution for themselves on the internet, whether you're popular on Twitter or Substack or Instagram or YouTube, it doesn't matter. You're able to serve some set of an audience, and you're able to build things around that. You're able to build an identity, a community, or a business, whatever it is. So I think because we're all now on our phones, it is very difficult to change back the habit of doom scrolling. सबके screen times अब 10 घंटे के है, right? So how do you change that? I don't think that is going to be impacted that deeply. Again, like I said, the platform may change. Today is the phone. Tomorrow it can be your Meta
VR
Ray Bans
glasses
or
and everything, yeah.
VR glasses. But you're still consuming content. At this point, we are all hooked. We are all addicts,
Yeah.
right? If not of cocaine, of doom scrolling.
Content.
Yeah, of content. So we like that cheap rise in dopamine constantly. It keeps us distracted. It keeps us happy, and sometimes it just keeps, it gets us to not think about life for a few moments. Right? And I don't think that's going to change. So this industry is here to stay. Creators will keep changing. The creator who was popular 5 years ago will probably not be popular today. And if they are, they're doing an incredible job of
staying relevant,
constantly pivoting and staying relevant. But yeah, this industry will stay.
Who do you think has done a great job in sort of, pivoting and staying relevant, and you cannot name anybody from Monkey?
Yeah, I mean, in my podcast, I usually tend to avoid taking names of people we represent ourselves.
That's nice. That's a good practice.
Yeah, because I like to be fair.
A mother should never pick favorites anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. That's true. I think Tanmay is like obvious choice. Did comedy, and I think anybody who can write really well, and if you can write humor, I think you can stay relevant for a really long period of time on the internet. I think what Bhuvan has done is he's effectively changed platforms, but he was certain that he wants to be an actor from the beginning, so he chose to pursue that life. I think who else? I would say odd choice being Sanjoot Keer. He's been doing food content for 10 years now. Initially started with Facebook as primary platform, then Instagram, and now YouTube. So I think like incredible stuff there. There's not many names to be taken, honestly.
It's very sad you did not take the name of a woman.
Oh yes. Okay. Well, Prajakta Kohli is,
of course,
right at the top. She's also done a very, very cool job of transitioning her career from being a YouTuber to being an actress.
Yeah. And people who followed her content just feel so much, I think they feel pride on her behalf.
Yeah.
Almost. Because, I remember that, young girls following up with her vlogs that she would do. And it's almost like they've seen her progress and evolve, even physically, for that matter. There was an entire era where she looked completely different, and now she looks completely different. And now she's recently gotten married. It almost feels like you've been part of that journey.
You've grown up with her, no?
Yes.
That's true. I mean, और अभी तो सबके 2016 वाले images resurface हो
Oh,
रहे हैं.
हाँ, exactly.
So it's like, oh shit, like it's been 10 years we've been following them, and 2016 was the year, I think, of the first or the second FanFest. And FanFest, YouTube FanFest used to be such a big deal amongst the audiences and the YouTubers. So it was very cool to relive that whole story. And I've been doing this for about a decade now. So like, oh shit, things were so different back then. And things are so different now.
Do you miss those times?
Definitely miss those times, but I'm not someone that likes to live in nostalgia too much. But 2016 was the time when short form content didn't exist. So if you had to be a creator, you had to not taking away anything from creators on short form content, but you had to really think through your content. You had to make only YouTube videos, which would be long form videos, no vertical content, only horizontal content. You had to really define your niche. You couldn't just take a mic and start talking because people wouldn't really care. And they wanted novelty, but they also wanted to associate with someone who made sense. YouTube was just coming up, and then you have people like AIB and TVF are making these
Yeah.
larger than life skits,
Yes.
which would, as an individual creator, of course, daunt you that I can't do that.
Yeah.
Um, so I think short form content has its pros and cons, but 2016 was a completely different era, and I keep talking about this with YouTubers from that time. Bunik is a friend of mine, and he was the rage in 2016.
Oh,
Like
yes. He's as
uh,
old as furniture.
yeah,
I
his
mean,
yeah, truly his Narcos series was incredible. He was also that first guy to make a lot of content around cricket and comedy. So I think it was just a different world.
yeah. No, it truly was. And like after listening to how your early formative years have
Yeah.
been, I am curious. Did you ever get time for personal relationships in all of this
Uh,
madness?
yes and no. During my 20s, I think at least my early 20s, leading to 27, 28, I realized that I didn't spend a lot of time nurturing my personal relationships because I was so locked in, and I was like, अब तो career बनाना ही है. Also, the thing is, there was no fallback option. The fallback option was doing an MBA, and that could just not be me.
Yeah.
I was like, यार मेरे पहले तो grades भी नहीं है, और ऊपर से CAT दूंगा, मेरी औकात ही नहीं है, मेरे marks ही नहीं आने वाले, और मैं यार बेकार सी MBA कॉलेज में तो नहीं जाऊंगा. मतलब मेरा मन
पैसे
बन
भी
गया था.
खर्च, टाइम भी वेस्ट.
Yeah, so it was that. So I was like, I just need to make this work anyhow. So I didn't really have time for personal relationships, but over the last 2 years, I've started nurturing that a lot, both with family, friends, and my romantic relationship. So it it gives me a lot of peace and joy now, because it's like, wait, life is not all about work, right? और मेरे भी 2-3 साल से ही ये realization आई है कि you can slow things down sometime.
Yeah.
You can, take it easy, take a step back, and just rejoice what you built around you, and also just have fun with people. Like, what are you doing all this for, really, if you can't really enjoy this with the few friends you've done this with, your parents, your brother? It's all pointless.
Yeah, fair. Okay, so tell me one thing. If you had to describe yourself in a word or in a sentence, how would you?
Persistent. Yeah, I think I have high persistence, and I really go after what I want.
I was almost hoping that you would say something related to your work, and I would call you out on that last bit that you just
No.
said, because I do understand that sometimes the lines blur, because
Yeah.
who you are suddenly becomes what you do, and you
Yeah.
don't even realize it.
No, I've been there. I mean, I think 28 was that turning point for me, where I was like, wait a second, you're not your company, and your company is not you. There are more things beyond that, which is when I also started taking my fitness really seriously. And I love it. I love every bit of it. I think now is when I'm realizing that, एक सेन यार, वो workout करने से हाँ body तो बन जाती ही है, but mentally बहुत help होता है. I mean, I get my best ideas in the gym.
Yeah.
Yeah, so so I think I enjoy it.
I think it's a nice safe space for men in general to sort of
Yeah.
release their energy.
I think so. I think if you have all the anger in the world, just go to the gym.
Yeah.
Find a trainer, even if it's not a trainer, just go to the gym, leg workout करके आओ, सारा anger निकल जाएगा.
और
That's it.
humble भी हो जाओगे.
और humble हो जाओगे. Truly. So I think
Yeah, I think last year when I started my journey with fitness, the reason was not actually to be fit. It was because I just started getting so angry.
Yeah.
And I have a short temper, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a very pleasant, positive person, but I do get ticked off, like
Yeah.
most women do. So, it's not me, it's all of us.
hey, I'm not saying this.
But I did realize that I was able to regulate my emotions much, much better. Like I
Huh.
could handle bad news in a very dignified manner
Yeah.
post my workouts. So I started scheduling certain calls post my workout.
Post your workout.
Yeah, that listen,
That's nice.
don't hit me up before, otherwise.
See, I think that's a solid sign of maturity generally, and I started doing a lot of that as well, because it's like you can't let your moods control you.
Yeah.
And if you are being so emotionally reactive, I just think it's a net negative. Like it will not take you anywhere generally in a good place if your moods and emotions control you. So I think it's super important, especially for men, to regulate themselves. Also because if you have women around you, if it's your partner, if it's your sister, mother, etc., I think in many ways, and especially when you grow up in an Indian household, emotional maturity sometimes is not predominant in men because you're always protected, right? कि mama's boy ही है मतलब सारे India में generally, and I get that because I also had that level of like protection and overbearing care from my mother. Only when I moved out of my house 3 to 4 years ago is when I realized that I think that is one thing that every guy before they're getting married should do, ideally. And no, this does not mean that you're abandoning your parents, and there will be certain exceptions, of course, if um, you have a single mother or if your parents are unwell, you should probably not do that. My parents were really healthy, so I had the choice to do that. But it changes your perspective completely, क्योंकि जब तुम फैमिली के साथ रहते हो इंडियन हाउस होल्ड में, एज अ गाय यू हैव टू डू नथिंग.
Exactly.
You have to do nothing. You don't even have to forget changing your bed sheet. You don't even have to wash your clothes. You don't have to make food. You don't have to even get up and open the door. मतलब उतनी भी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी नहीं है तुम्हारी. रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी छोड़ो, एक्सपेक्टेशन ही नहीं है तुमसे, क्योंकि तुम बिगड़ी हुई औलाद ही हो बचपन से. So I realized that when I moved out of my house, and I was like, oh shit.
काफी कुछ करना पड़ता है.
अभी कारपेंटर से भी बात करनी पड़ रही है, अभी वो स्विगी पार्सल भी खुद लेना पड़ रहा है, एंड stuff like that. And these are really tiny things actually in the larger scheme of things, which is why I know, I mean, through my personal relationships and all, I know so many people around me who've had a tough time after they've gotten married, because they're like, oh shit, I didn't expect that all this was expected out of me.
Yeah.
And you then as a male realize that you're so protected and you're basically blinded by your own sort of shell. So it's best to come out of that, and I think that's when life becomes better and you become an equally responsible person in a romantic relationship. और अब हो रहा है, आई थिंक अब थोड़ा बहुत वो नहीं हो रहा है. ओके, साधिका थिंक्स ये नहीं हो रहा है बिल्कुल भी.
नहीं हो रहा है, like it's good.
मतलब it's
Changes
I think it's better than before, also
100%.
marginally only.
Yeah.
But there is a lot of unlearning that has to happen generally in Indian men. And I don't mean to sound like a pick me over here, but I've been through that transformation myself. So वो important है यार, सीखो थोड़ा, एक दो डिश तो खाना पकाना सीख लो यार. मतलब चावल पकाना तो
आना चाहिए.
चावल पकाना तो बिल्कुल भी, दाल चावल तो कोई भी पका सकता है. मतलब इट्स नॉट दैट डिफिकल्ट. वॉशिंग मशीन चलाना सीख लो, खुद तो कपड़े धोने नहीं है अब. तो these are like bare minimums. Yeah.
No, fair. Are you dating right now? Are you single?
Yeah, I am dating.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's your love language?
So I think all the ones that exist in generally in the universe, all of them are my love languages.
So you communicate with your partner, or you express love in all?
Yeah, I would like to say so, because like she likes to express it and receive it in all ways. And we are both giving generally, so it ends up becoming, no, let me do this for you, and she's like, no, let me do this for you, and there's a fight over that, and I'm like, okay, let's stop being cheesy like that.
Fight. Yeah.
So that's nice. So I don't really think I have like any specific, like I like to live, I like to give love in all kinds of ways. And I'm also that kind of guy who's like, ठीक है यार, अगर love नहीं भी मिला तो भी चल जाएगा. मतलब I think that comes also from childhood trauma, that it's okay if you don't get all of that attention. You must give it back at least. So yeah.
So did she pursue you or did you pursue her?
I think the latter only. I think a guy should pursue a girl generally.
Yeah, I think it's old school, but it's romantic.
Yeah, I think it's romantic, and it's the right, I mean, there's no right or wrong way to love, but to each their own, but
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
At least it's mostly appreciated amongst us women.
Yeah,
So,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, correct. Yeah. It was the latter. I pursued her,
Interesting.
yeah.
So, like, do guys ever really think about how to pursue, or is it just like, for example, my basic question is, do guys enjoy the chase?
Oh, yes.
They do. What's the charm of the chase?
I think you like I'm assuming it's a dopamine release again, that you feel like you are the winner constantly, and you feel like, oh, it's, if you were to look back at it from historical POV, I'm assuming it's um, being able to win something. And in a caveman's language, you could say it would be like hunting down something, although I think it's like not the right way to approach it. But that's what the dopamine release is that, oh, I was able to speak to this girl, and I was able to end up dating her. Now I'm bored, now I want to move on to some other girl. So um, see, that exists usually in your 20s, and especially when there's so much manosphere content out there, where literally people are saying ki, you don't have cars and women around you, you're such a fucking loser.
Yeah.
And women is spoken of always in the plural sense.
Yeah.
Not a woman, like
Yeah.
women, like you don't, and all your songs around that, like you don't have bitches around you. And just becomes like part of the narrative that, oh, you're not doing enough.
Yes.
Then also there's like dating apps, there's, and it's just a weird place now. Dating, I think it's going to move back towards being more traditional. From the
Needs to.
space I'm seeing this, I think that dating apps are slowly dying out, and people who want deeper relationships are seeking out, either like they're either speaking to their moms and they're saying कि set up करवा दो, अब arrange marriage ही करवा दो, वही better है.
हो गया मेरा.
है ना, हो गया मेरा, मेरे को नहीं ये market में
हाँ.
जाना है, dating market में. Or there are more intentional dating apps that are coming out now that are saying that we don't want everybody on this app. We want a focused group of people, and we want to build intimate experiences, and we want to be able to match people basis their interests, instead of trying to match people at scale. So I think that shift will happen back again now. So see, yeah, there is an allure to the chase. And I think if you have that, you should experience this, only to realize that that is not the actual fun experience in life.
Yeah, it can be a phase. It can't be your entire identity, right? And I just like keep going back to analyzing what male dating behavior is usually like. Maybe it changes when you're in your 20s. Maybe it changes when you're in your 30s.
Yeah.
What's your age?
I think it changes really when you have that switch in your own brain, and you're like, okay, I'm done with this.
So when is the guy really done with it?
I think each guy has his, is done with it.
Is it
at
like a
his own age.
benchmark? Is it a
Usually
you've
like your
accomplished
late
this
20s,
much?
like 29, 28. I'm assuming some people also have it at 24, who are like, who want to commit, and who are like, I don't want to fool around too much, I just want to commit.
Settle.
And I then, because a lot of the times, some men think that, okay, I want to focus on my career, but if I get married, like, I don't know if I'll be able to focus on my career. I think in many cases that I've seen around my friends who've married early, they've built empires because they've had a really rock solid partner. In many cases, their co-founders are their
their
wives.
partners? Yes.
So, I think वो प्रोपेगेंडा हमारे लाइव्स में आ चुका है काफ़ी टाइम से, ऑफ हे व्हेन यू आर इन योर it's like if you get married at 24, it's like leaving the party at 8 p.m.
Yeah.
You would
Which I love doing now.
Yeah, I'm like, to each their own, and I think everybody is going to eventually move towards wanting to crave real relationships and companionship, especially in this era of fleeting equations and relationships, right? When there's so much free attention you're getting in the form of a like, comment, share, DM, that the illusion is that I have too many options.
Yes.
I was reading about this, that a guy sitting in Andheri now has access to a girl sitting in Copenhagen, for example, and thinks that he has a shot with her. And that's what has gotten everything messed up. That you were never supposed to
To be
know
exposed
people
to
that far off.
Yeah.
Like, why are you even knowing this fact? So now you think that you're out of everybody's league, and that you constantly keep deserving better,
Yeah.
and that nobody's ever enough for you. And that's why the idea of chase exists. I mean, see, I think in some cases it like it exists. Like, some women also like the chase, but I think both as men and women, you have to grow out of it eventually to realize that it will only make you miserable.
Yeah, I mean, in the long term, I mean, as long as you want something frivolous, you just want to, you
Yeah,
want experiences,
yeah,
then it's good for you. But I
yeah,
think there comes a point, or at least there should come
yeah.
a point where you
Where you're
sort of,
like, "Ki bas ho gaya ab."
exactly. Just for a lot of people, there is a lot of dating fatigue that
Yeah,
they just don't want to be on apps anymore. They don't want to date anymore because
yeah.
they've had too many experiences. Matlab,
And also, it's like you're swiping left,
left,
right
right,
on
and center.
so many people
Yeah.
that at this point are like, "Oh shit." You end up seeing the same people after a point of
Yes.
time.
And you end up becoming friends more than
Like,
anything. Okay.
so this
अच्छा
is
अभी तक
another
नहीं मिला.
meme that every hinge match ends up becoming a viewer on your Instagram
Yes,
stories.
exactly. And like a lot of people say this in terms of career, ke, like trust in the process.
Yeah.
And then there are memes saying, but does the process know that we're trusting it?
Correct.
I just feel like you should apply this to dating right now
Yeah.
to all of those people who, keep saying, all of those people in happy relationships who keep saying,
Yeah.
Are nahi mil jayega, like just go for it, put yourself out there. Are, but
Yeah.
how much?
Yeah.
And till what degree? So
Correct.
definitely. Were you lucky enough to find somebody organically, or was yours also through a dating app?
Hinge.
Hinge. Oh my god. Wow. So people do not recognize you on Hinge?
I mean, see, I've had some cases where, like some people, some women have asked me that, "Hey, can I get an internship, or can I get a job?" And I was like, "Okay, I don't want to engage with somebody that already knows me, because it sets a weird kind of power dynamic, and I don't want to engage in that."
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean. I'm not that famous, honestly. Like,
Come on, be modest.
yeah. No. I mean, really, I'm in my own little bubble.
I think at least your bubble has touch points with reality,
Yeah.
which is very unlike. Okay, I won't. I
Go
shouldn't
for
be,
it. Go for it. It's unlike the people I work with.
not work with.
Yeah.
Maybe work with.
Yeah.
But I don't know them in that capacity, thankfully.
No, I think, yeah, the fact that I see fame so up close and personal, with people I work with, I think I'm much more in touch with reality generally, because I understand that there are certain things of this I want and certain things I don't want. I think some creators have understood that and are self-aware now. कि अब सारे लोग therapy जा रहे, so it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, they've come to know about it.
True. How old are you?
I'm
if
30.
it's not
I'm
rude to
30.
ask. Okay, 30.
Yeah.
Got it. So at 30, you've built this, magnanimous company that you are the founder of, that you're the
Yeah.
CEO of, and you're probably paying, I don't know how many salaries,
Right.
end of every month. Are there still moments where you just feel that anxiety rushing in? Because I know every founder
Yeah.
who has ever existed, around 29th or 30th of every month,
Yeah.
there's like a bout of, okay, everything needs to go well. I need to pay out the salaries because
Yeah.
now my everything is linked to people's everything.
Correct.
So do you experience those
Yeah, so
moments?
I used to experience this a lot in the earlier days. Now we've positioned ourselves, thankfully, and I will give that a lot to my frugality, that we've built enough reserves to not worry about when will the next paycheck for the team come or no. It's more about how do we expand and how do we bring on more people onto the team who can help us build this further. But this anxiety is very real,
Yeah.
and I felt it
आती है
very
अभी
very
भी?
deeply. अब इतनी नहीं आती है, बट हाँ, वो जब हम नए स्पेस में मूव हुए थे तब वापस वो एंजाइटी आई थी कि यार रेंट इसका हम दे पाएंगे कि नहीं, बिकॉज you never want to be in the negative, right? You
Yeah.
never want to have a higher expense ratio. अब ठीक है, अब इतनी एंजाइटी नहीं होती है.
बड़े होते होते मुझे अब रियलाइज हो रहा है कि लाइक इन माई लेट 20s एंड एवरीथिंग आई रियलाइज दैट आई हैव डेवलप्ड अ वेरी डिफरेंट सॉर्ट ऑफ एन एंजाइटी, एंड दैट इज फॉर द हेल्थ ऑफ माई पेरेंट्स.
Yeah.
And I meant to ask this to you because I remember reading this LinkedIn post where you written about how you've now started sending your parents to the gym.
Yeah.
And I found it very sweet because, I've been, trying to sort of get my parents or push them to, like focus on yourself because I'm reading so much now. And, I've realized कि हमारे दादा दादी जब ऐसे पकड़ पकड़ के चीजें चलते थे, it would be because they haven't trained or they haven't trained their muscles a lot,
Yeah.
which is why the disbalance. And I don't ever want that for my
Yeah.
parents, right? Because first of all, my mother is very क्या कहते हैं उसको, खुदार, whatever that is in English. ठीक है? So she's a very khudar woman. And my father also likes to be very active. So now I can't imagine them to, like wanting support or needing support.
Yeah.
And then when I read your post, I just felt like this is a sentiment that is echoed, in every
Yeah.
person in this age bracket maybe. तो वो कैसे हुआ? कैसे
So
मतलब?
again, this was purely. So I told you, me and my parents and my brother and his wife, we sat together and we were like, okay, we need to improve ourselves. So each one of us took one sort of oath कि ये हम करेंगे for the next year. And in that, I had gotten my dad to basically say that I will take my health seriously. And in that, my brother and I decided we're going to give him one personal trainer. हमें बिल्कुल भी होप नहीं थी कि ये 2 हफ्ते के बियॉन्ड चलने वाला है, बट it turns out he really enjoyed going to the gym, and he's built his own little set of friends now in the gym that like 20 something year old guys who are always hyping him up. Yes, uncle. He's 63 right now.
Wow.
And he's the life of the party always. So he enjoys it. To him it's become an addiction now because he's realizing that shit, I can do so much more. He's able to stand properly now. He's like his spine is completely erect, his form has changed, and he feels confidence. And I just feel like that's what you need generally at that age. My mom is she's another life of a party, and she's completely extroverted. She has her community of people building में ही yoga करते वो लोग.
Wow.
Her and like there's like 15-20 other women who go and do yoga together. She was actually depressed that for 2 months she was not able to do yoga because of a surgery. She was really just down in the dumps that shit, I need my dopamine kick, and I am sad I'm not able to go for my yoga class. So I think it was all credit to them. We just put a nudge and hoped कि यार ये इनको fitness का कुछ addiction हो जाए. So I think super important also because see, I'm not married yet, and I want my parents to be the life of the party when I get married.
Dancing,
You have to be
enjoying.
dancing, sangeet pe performance, all of that. I want them to be healthy when I have kids, etc. So I'm also doing it from a selfish POV that I want them to live much longer.
And witness everything and document your life.
Yeah, in fact, I got them to renew their passports. Their passports were they expired in 2010, and which means they were made in 2000. Yeah. And so those were handwritten passports, not even printed. So I looked at them and I was like, oh shit, they've like, unki life nikal gayi hai. They've not seen life and they've not experienced life in trying to just raise us. So I got their passports done, and now I want to just see them travel everywhere. Like, tum kaise... they've never been abroad. They've never traveled internationally. And that is my personal goal. Even though my mom is like, I'm happy now in this house, don't make me travel and all. It's like, please just experience life a little bit beyond Mumbai.
That's a very nice sentiment. I think I am... there are parts to your story with which I relate.
Yeah.
So I think, there's like
I'm glad.
feeling of connection
Yeah.
sorts. So
I'm
that's
glad
very
you do.
good. But in all of this, tell me one thing. Do you ever have those moments where you feel you grew up a little too early, too fast?
I mean, my brother did for sure. I was still allowed to be a child. I threw tantrums every once in a while. I wanted an Xbox when we were basically not doing that well. When my dad lost a lot of money in the stock market, I was being that kid in school. I was like, मैं खाना नहीं खाऊंगा, मुझे Xbox चाहिए. And now when I look at it, I'm like, yeah, what an embarrassing thing to do.
It's okay, you were a kid.
But yeah, so I feel like I didn't grow up as fast. Um, but I I think it had its pros. I was able to, just focus much better in my life, build out my priorities right, build out a good life for myself. And I think at the end, that's what really matters. It's not like I didn't have any fun in my 20s. By the way, I traveled a lot extensively. I was able to go to places that work took me to that never in my life I I think I would be able to. Very interestingly, I used to get dreams about being on foreign land.
Okay.
Ki, I'm in this foreign country and I'm surrounded by these different looking people. I'm eating at a foreign restaurant, all of that, and my first flight ever internationally was a business class flight to the US for work. So this is we're literally getting paid to travel,
First class. Yeah. And to
and that
US.
that was the dream. I was like, wow, this is insane.
दे रहा है तो
Um,
रुसता है.
but matlab, it was also a horrible experience because my first ever flight was business class. So how like first world problem, how do you go back?
Oh my
Uh,
God.
but no, of
Nice.
course, I mean, I have traveled many flights in
Economy
economy.
also?
Yeah, of course. And वो फ्रुगैलिटी अभी भी है ना कि यार अभी 10 घंटे की फ्लाइट है,
हाँ.
मैं क्यों 3x प्राइस पे करूँ? Doesn't matter. I will just bear it. I will sit straight. I will not sleep.
Very good you think.
Yeah, very good you think. Yeah.
So tell me one thing. Since you're, does your frugality penetrate through into your relationships as well? Like who pays
No, not
on
at
the
all.
date?
I strongly believe, and I don't know why this is such a big debate on the internet.
Yeah, let's settle it.
Dude, men should pay on all dates. Let's just be clear. Unless your partner wants to pay and she feels a certain way about you paying constantly on all dates, then yes, you should allow her. But not even allow her, you should let her. Yeah. But I just think if you are debating on the internet, कितने का बिल आता है तुम्हारा यार डेट्स पे? मतलब
आपका एवरेज कितने का आता है?
2,000 रुपए एट बेस्ट, 2,500 रुपए, 4,000 रुपए. You go to a very good restaurant, maybe 7,000 rupees, 8,000 rupees.
And then pick a place that's in your budget. Now who's stopping you?
Just that, it's like there are so many apps that exist that are literally telling you price for two,
Yeah.
right? And
Yes.
I generally don't think most women are so fussy where they're like, नहीं मुझे ये 5 star होटल के ये रेस्टोरेंट में ही जाना है.
Yeah. Exactly.
Right? I think in 2,000 rupees you can go to a really quality place which has the Instagram aesthetic if you want, which has really quality food if you want. There are so many restaurants.
Yeah.
So at this point, why are we still cribbing about, oh, would you still pay on the first date? Dude, if you can't as a man pay on the first date, just don't go out on dates.
Yeah.
It's that simple. And if your partner is offering to pay and if she feels offended if you don't let her pay, then by all means take her share for it. But otherwise, your first instinct as a man should always be, when the bill or the check comes in, pull out your wallet and pay the check. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm all for equality and everything, but I just do feel that, listen, chivalry is also an adjective or a statement or a way of life that existed, right? And of course, it's a slippery slope because I know that, people might just call me out on this and be like, oh my God, you're a feminist, but then you want men to pay on dates. No, I don't want men to pay on dates. I want them to be able to pay on dates.
That's it. It shows intention. It
Yes.
shows some kind of commitment. It shows that this guy is looking to protect and is looking to fend for me as a woman,
Yes.
right? So that's what it shows. It's not showing how rich you are, bro. तुम 2,000 रुपए की डेट पे करके तुम कोई अंबानी तो नहीं हो गए.
Exactly.
So it's, and the other part of the debate I constantly don't understand is like just men who are making like 30, 40, 50,000 rupees a month thinking that women are coming for their gold. Like
Gold.
there is no gold to
Where
dig
is the
here,
gold?
man. So I think these are all concepts that are easy rage bait videos on the internet. And I've said this in my previous conversations also. I think I really have a bone to pick with
Andrew
a lot
Tate.
of, not just Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate though goes without saying, but a lot of these vox pop creators who constantly ask specific questions to specific genders. They will ask what kind of a height you want in a man to a woman. They will ask what is your body count to a woman, and they will these will
Such evolved
elicit,
content. Wow.
yeah, these will get views, right? So I just feel, or how much do you want your man to make, right? And there will be specific answers that will say I want him to make 1 crore a month and
Yes.
all, and those will be clipped out and put out on the internet,
Yeah.
and men will engage on that. Like, this is far beyond reality of life. Like, this is not how women and men exist in real life. They're not so poles apart. Content has made them poles apart.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like, like people have sort of pitched the two genders against each other, but it was never supposed to be like that. In fact, I remember when I started hosting at Men's XP, my initial few episodes were, like the comment section was filled with people just saying that, why is a woman on a men's channel? What does that even mean? And like all of them, they were almost so disappointed to see a woman host
Yeah.
men in general or talk to men about it.
Yeah.
And I would just, wonder that, listen, since men started to live in isolation,
Yeah.
I mean, the idea is that you both coexist, right?
Yeah.
So is it not nice for a woman and a man to have a conversation
Yeah.
and for you guys to see a side of the story from each side? And, like, what's the harm in it?
I agree. And I think all the young men that will end up watching this or just follow this channel generally should know that isolating yourself from women, or like hating on women, or constantly saying अरे ये हाँ इसमें शादी कर लूंगा तो एलिमनी देनी पड़ेगी, अरे ये सोचना बंद कर दो यार. मतलब, this is not the way to live.
Yeah.
Like, seek inspiration from people that are having really healthy marriages, that are succeeding by being together with each other, are giving the wind beneath the wings of each other. So there's a lot to do in life just by having the right kind of partner. And I think you are all missing out, we are all missing out on it if we constantly debate the fact कि यार ये डेट पे बिल कौन भरेगा और मुझे एलिमनी देनी पड़ेगी कि नहीं, और ये मेरा गोल्ड डिग कर रही है कि नहीं. अरे भाई, अपने करियर पे फोकस रखो एंड जस्ट बी अ नाइस पर्सन एंड यू विल अट्रैक्ट अ नाइस पार्टनर. लाइक, simply just that. Yes, you have to be cautious, but don't be so cautious that you're paranoid all the time.
Yeah.
Like, this leads to good for nobody.
Exactly. And I just also feel that, you start attracting a lot of what you think.
Yeah.
So, like,
Constantly, yeah.
Yeah. And I have done that in my life.
Yeah.
There was an entire phase where I was just probably fearing coming across guys who were a certain type.
Yeah.
Ended up attracting a guy who was that
Correct,
type.
yeah.
Okay. And he's not even my initial type.
Correct.
But somehow I have said yes.
Yeah, the universe works like this.
Yeah. So, like, since then I've been very mindful of what I attract, what I think.
Absolutely.
I just feel like it's okay. Calm down, Sadhaka. Go to the gym.
Yeah.
Again.
Also, I just think men need to be way more secure as individuals. Like,
But I do think that insecurity is an issue with them also, because I think it's a byproduct of patriarchy.
Yeah, it is. And I just feel that just find your security. Like, what is it that is your core fear? Is it isolation? Is it rejection? Is it not achieving your potential? Is it not making enough money? Is it ending up alone? Ask yourself this question: what is my core fear? And try to solve for that fear. When you do that, you will start feeling way more secure, and nobody will be able to, especially one vox pop video on the internet, will not be able to rattle you so much.
Yeah.
Like, stop being keyboard warriors. Like, experience life, touch grass, talk to people.
Yeah.
Just walk a little bit.
Yes.
Like, when they say go take a hike, actually go for a fucking walk.
Yes.
Instead of constantly being fuck you on Twitter and Instagram.
Jio ka bahut galat istemal ho raha hai.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So what is your core fear?
Oof. My core fear in my 20s was not achieving my potential.
Fair.
I think it still is in some ways.
Yeah.
There was a phase where it was also me not having any deep relationships. So was that fear was of like feeling rejected, feeling isolated, feeling like oh shit यार मेरी शादी पे कौन आएगा, मेरे deathbed पे कौन होगा, all of that. So I started working actively on that. I realized that people were trying to make plans with me. I was saying no constantly, or I was scene zoning them,
Yeah.
etc. So I changed that. So I think at every given point of time, you just understand what is it that you worry about. Write those things down, write those thoughts down, and actively take action on how you want to change that. I think action cures most anxiety, at least that the one that is surface level. And if you solve for these problems, you will be secure, and then you will not worry about who's going to be a gold digger and who's going to take alimony, and you will just be a nice guy. I think again we need more of these. We need people that are secure, especially men that are secure in themselves, who have ideals, who are firm, who are not you don't have to be a carpet, right? You don't have to be a push around. You can be yourself but also be nice. So just that's really it. Be a good man, and you see how the world around you will change, because especially a country like ours needs more quality men that people can be around and be with.
Yeah.
That's really the case. So if you're a solid person, also then work towards seeing if you can start a family, because there are too many people who generally have too much trauma and unresolved issues, and that gets projected on either your partner or your family and all of that. And I've seen too much of that around me to only come to a realization that you first fix yourself,
Yeah.
and you will attract the right kind of people. Then you will not entertain people who will have certain kind of issues yourself. You
Yeah.
will be able to evade that energy constantly. So if you are somebody who's become calm now, you will not want to be around people that are constantly creating panic
Chaos.
around you.
Yes.
You will reject that energy. So work on that instead of worrying ki I don't want to have a partner who's constantly panicking. Okay, for that first become calm yourself.
Yeah. True.
Right. So I think that's what I've realized generally through my equation with the women around me, both platonic and romantic, that um, everybody needs an anchor generally, right? It can either be through a person, or it can be themselves, etc. If you can be an anchor in even a few people's lives, even if it's one life, I think you change a big part of that person.
Yeah.
You're able to reassure them, you're able to handle a situation, you're able to not panic. Why do people love Dhoni so much, right? Why was he such a successful captain?
Because he was so fucking dependable.
He was so dependable, he was so calm, and he would not just at the drop of a hat panic or get angry and all of that. He would just be like, वो अपने मन में गुस्सा बिल्कुल होता था,
हाँ.
और बाहर दिखाता नहीं था. वो ड्रेसिंग रूम में जाके बजाता था लोगों की, बट इन द मैच ही वाज लाइक डूड वी विल विन दिस फर्स्ट एंड देन आई विल टेक केयर ऑफ द सिचुएशन.
Yes.
So I think that's how it should be generally.
True. You know, in the course of your life, आपने अपनी लाइफ में ऐसे moments experience करे हैं जहाँ पे you've burnt a lot of bridges.
Yeah.
Have you outgrown friends?
I think so for sure.
Yeah.
That has happened. It's unfortunate, but I think it's also rite of passage. It ends up happening over a period of time. Someone you may have started with, you don't align with anymore, and it doesn't really work. You have to come to accept that fact over a period of time, and when you do is when you get a little bit of that peace. I think this happens in everybody's life. I'm not special there. I don't really burn bridges with people unless they've done something ridiculous with me.
Okay, so
Or
what
with
is
somebody
ridiculous?
I love. This betrayal, or there is just not being loyal or grateful about certain things, and I'm not even talking about my team. I don't expect any kind of loyalty from my team members per se, because that's this is not the 1970s where you would expect one person to be in the same role for like 30 years and devote their life to the company, etc. But I just feel like, being two-faced is not something that I appreciate, and it helps nobody, which is why be transparent. If you don't like me, tell me straight up, dude. Like, you don't have to like me. That's okay. And I am secure enough to accept that fact now. That okay, you don't like me, that's okay. I don't have to change myself. You don't have to change yourself. Because we're like, I'm 30 now. I'm not actively looking for
Validation.
anybody's validation as much as I was when I was 20.
Yeah.
So that's really it. So yeah, I mean, bridges have been burnt, and I have outgrown friendships, and some people have outgrown me as well. Keeps happening, is life.
सबसे ज्यादा बुरा किस चीज में लगता है? Like, does a romantic breakup hurt more or a friendship breakup hurt more?
Oh, I think friendship.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think because I think romantic breakups used to hurt way more when you were younger, because you were also in that zone of वो emotions पहली बार feel हो रही है तभी, they're way more intense. At this point you are much more secure and firm in what you want, what you expect, and if things don't align, you just have a conversation. Again, this is not going where expected, right? I think friendships are relatively easier to do, and hence if they don't work out,
It's a shame.
Yeah, you feel more intensity in that.
Yeah. Very interesting. I think this is the first time, at least I haven't seen any of your interviews where you've spoken about yourself as much. So I am particularly enjoying a lot of this, but...
Thank you for opening up that side of me.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Have you enjoyed?
Yeah, I really had
Up until
fun.
now?
I haven't spoken about a lot of those things in any of my other interviews.
Okay, that's good. I hope it's not you being diplomatic
No,
or
not at all.
Gujarati.
I choose not to be diplomatic.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's a good quality. But, I will be, I don't know, slandered on the internet if I don't ask you a little about creators.
Okay.
So, okay, let's enter
Let's
your
do that.
domain now. Let's enter your arena.
Sure.
So in 2025, you collaborated with some of the, like biggest names globally, across India. Tell me one story that has stayed with you about a creator or something. And I don't want to, I don't want to know about the logistics of it. I want to know like a real story that the audience will just feel like, oh my God, we love this creator. And did this really happen? And did Viraj really experience this?
Right. I would say one of my most like memorable experiences has been working with Farah Khan generally, and getting to know her. There was this video we did with her, a project with Urban Company. It was with her and Mahib Kapoor. They've done a fun episode together, and we held a premiere for it in one of these theaters in PVR for just that one episode. And I just was so alarmed with how warm she was and how funny she is.
Yeah?
She's actually hilarious. And you can see that, of course, in her movies.
Yes.
In Om Shanti Om and Tismar
Kal Ho Na
Khan.
Ho.
Yeah, and
Was hers, no?
Kal Ho Na Ho was Karan Johar.
Oh, so sorry. What was that movie?
Tismar Khan and Om Shanti Om and Mehuna.
Mehuna, sorry.
Mehuna. You can see the humor and the drama and the larger than life sets in her movies, but also in her videos she's hilarious, and she's very quick-witted, and she's genuinely just a nice person to work with. She's also had no ego in terms of identifying that YouTube, which generally actors, directors think of as a lesser platform, she adapted to it seamlessly. So there was this one moment where I collected all the screenshots from Twitter where the Gen Z has constantly been raving about how Tismar Khan is the most goated brain rot movie ever. And I took those screenshots and I played it on the cinema screen. for her to see, ma'am, when is the next Tismar kaha coming? And I think that was a really sweet moment generally with her. And she's constantly like, Viraj, tu kab lunch karne aa raha hai? Ab hame aur kaam karna hai. She knows she's smart. She knows that she needs to do a lot of business generally on YouTube, and she's treating it like a proper
She is.
startup.
Yes.
Right? She is a full hustler. She's making the most effective use of her network.
Yes.
If there's one person that is doing that, it is Farah Khan and Ori.
Oh,
Yeah.
I genuinely love the guy because
Yeah.
I just feel like, and people think that it's a joke, people think it's an exaggeration, but I do feel like he's a content genius.
Yeah, he is.
And I would have least expected it from him when I first met
Yeah.
him. But I got to spend time with him. I got to have many conversations with him. And there are times when I just think like that, how are you so fucking clear about what this is going to turn into?
Yeah.
You could throw an idea at him, or you
Yeah.
could throw an IP at him, or you could throw anything at him.
Yeah.
And he will be able to objectively just distill it down
Yeah.
to what it needs to be.
Yeah.
And judge it across fair metrics and just tell you that this is what works, this is why it works with me, this is why it does not work with me, it does not require my energy. And he may package it in a way which people think it's very
funny.
unique or funny.
Yeah.
But I do think that the guy is
I
a
fully
genius.
agree, and I've spent a decent amount of time with him, and every time I leave the room, I take two learnings from him about social media and content. He is so deeply rooted into his craft, which is making reels.
Yeah.
I think this is a craft in itself. You have to be so tuned into making reels.
Yeah.
Also, another thing I feel is like being a creator is like as difficult as doing a 9 to 5 job, if not more. I think it comes with its own challenges, and it is definitely one of those things that looks
Easy.
so easy to do,
Yeah.
but is so difficult to maintain over a long period of time.
Yes.
Because how do you come up with new ideas every day, especially when you are operating on a platform where I like to call Instagram as the global talent hunt, because that is a feed where you're getting content from all corners of the planet, and you are competing with all of those billion people
Yes.
on the internet.
Yeah.
And it's not just people, it is also animals, because cat and dog videos take the cake all the time. You're basically competing with
Oh my God.
ridiculously cute looking cats.
Yes.
For attention,
dogs.
and dogs
Yes.
for attention, right? So the fact that you have to constantly entertain, educate, and grab the eyeballs all the time is supremely difficult. And I think Ori does that really, really well, because
Yes.
I think he's a student of the internet in many ways. He is constantly educating himself and learning new hacks and learning new tricks, and is not afraid to express himself.
Yeah.
And he is not biased. He's not saying, okay, I will only collaborate with a Deepika Padukone. He's collaborating with anybody and everybody who he thinks he can make a fun script or video with.
Yeah, and he thinks.
Yeah, he thinks. Yeah.
He's smart, he thinks, and I personally have a lot of respect for him also, because I do feel that he helped me in a very different sort of a way. I
Yeah.
remember when he came on this podcast, and it turned into a very viral sort of a moment, and brands picked up on it, and
Yeah.
the line "you are a liver"
Yeah,
sort of was
correct.
coined here.
Correct.
So,
That's insane.
I hold that person in such dear regard.
Nice.
And as do like a lot of my guests, I just hold them in great
Yeah.
regard, because something has happened.
Yeah.
They've come on this podcast and something has happened and
For
something has
them.
changed for them and
That's
for
incredible.
me.
Yeah.
And I just feel like that is such a nice, like a symbiotic relationship,
Nice.
without calling them parasites, like in a good way. So, like a good whatever. So that, but
Yes.
Viraj, you're 30, you're accomplished, you're doing
Yeah.
pretty well for yourself,
Yeah.
and you do seem, to be extremely sane.
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
Yeah, almost too good to be true. I mean
Oh,
to ask, do you
shit.
have like toxic traits?
What are my vices?
Yeah, what are your vices? You can't be
Oh,
हर चीज पे आंसर
no,
ये
no,
ऐसे
I mean,
होना
yeah, see,
चाहिए,
also,
ये वैसे होना
I
चाहिए.
think I don't trust people who don't have vices.
Good.
Yeah, because I also think they're too good to be true.
Okay, throw some vices.
See, I mean, I like to have fun every once in a while. I like to party, all of that. But I think I'm super addicted to my phone.
Yeah.
So I don't answer the question when somebody asks me what my screen time is, because it's ridiculously high. I just like to have a good time. I think I realized that, when I was 27, 28, that if I keep working and don't do anything that will stimulate my brain beyond work, that will give me new memories and new moments, that will help me foster new relationships, etc., I will just end up being miserable. And that's when I was like, fuck, abhi bakchodi karni hai. Abhi, we need to have fun. Otherwise,
Yeah.
we're just whiling away our time just behind a desk and sending emails and using Google Calendar and Outlook.
Yeah.
You say that there's these memes where they show a really nice beach or a sunset, and it says, "Men saw this and still invented Deloitte."
Oh wow, I haven't seen this, but
it's,
wow.
it's like, yeah,
Shit,
like
yeah.
what the hell? There's beauty around us completely, and we're still choosing to
Go to
upload
a
things on LinkedIn.
seriously. And I
So
am from a big four. So
yeah.
I started
Oh
my
shit.
journey with, ENY.
Oh shit.
And some of my older colleagues, they still message me and say that, we always thought that you weren't meant for this, but what the just
Isn't
happened
that
to you?
relieving? It's like, oh shit. Like,
Like,
no hate to Big Four, but
yeah.
but a
But we
little
know
hate,
how
a
to
little hate to Big Four.
exactly. I'm grateful to them, to sort of fill me up with so much resentment for my job that I
Yeah.
sort of, like
कि
catapulted.
छोड़ दो यार, अब ये नहीं करना है.
हाँ, मतलब कुछ भी करना है. When I quit my job,
हाँ.
I had nothing in hand. Okay.
So
And
what was your first gig after that?
so after that, I joined.
हाँ.
So that is the group.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So वहाँ पे, so I've always been a writer.
Okay.
And video happened by chance for me.
Okay.
I never wanted to be in front of the camera.
Crazy.
Yes. So,
There's two people who didn't want to be in front of the camera now in
exactly.
front of the camera.
And of course, I found my comfort here and I do enjoy what I do and I'm very grateful for it. But I am a writer, like
By
my
heart.
by heart. I always want to identify as an author and I will be
Nice.
an author. I still keep saying this that listen,
Correct.
eventually I will go down as an author. So that, but EY was like, when I quit the job, it was a 2-month notice period and I had nothing in hand. I had, because I had a commerce background, how do I even land a job as a writer, right? Who would
Correct.
place a bet on me? But this one woman did. Her name is Prachi.
Okay,
And
nice.
she is sort of my mentor.
Shout out to Prachi.
Shout out to Prachi. And the second one is, of course, somebody called Dattaraj. But anyway, coming back to Prachi. So she gave me a shot, but I was so done, with the EY culture and everything.
I
And
get
it's
that.
good for people who really like to be in that space. But I realized that I don't want to be a corporate girl.
I think those people usually don't have as much of a choice. I
True.
don't know who's really loving it, but
Yeah.
there's a minority that probably likes it.
Yes. So I do, like hard relate to that
Yeah,
Deloitte
that
meme.
just have fun. So in terms of, that's what my vices like, to travel a lot generally, like to spend a lot of time with friends, have fun.
That's a very good boy vice.
Yeah.
My vice is I like to travel.
Yeah, some vices are not meant for the camera.
That is a good one.
Yeah.
Open to interpretation. I
Yes.
like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll.
What's your vice?
My vice? Wow. I don't have vices. I am
Oh,
too good. I'm
I don't trust
perfect.
anybody who doesn't have vices.
No, I do have vices.
Yeah.
Some not meant for the camera.
Exactly.
Yes. I've let go of a lot of my vices. I think right
Interesting.
now my vice is that I'm a very extreme person. So either I'm zero or
Yeah.
I'm all in.
Okay.
So there's no
That's
middle
good.
ground for me.
That's such a diplomatic answer. It's like saying in a
But it's
job
really
interview,
not.
what
I
are your
mean,
weaknesses?
Diplomatic is
I'm too ambitious. I give it my all.
yeah. I'm so good what to do.
Yeah.
So, nahin. But I do think that similarly for my emotions also, na, I'm too
Okay.
extreme. So I do feel like that is a vice. I
Okay.
think this year I want to be more stable.
Okay. Okay.
I think that there's another vice I'll tell you off camera.
Okay. Done.
So yeah, that is there. But theek hai, like I always ask whoever sits on this chair.
What
this
What
one
are some
thing.
interesting answers you've got? What else have people? Do people
Vices?
even open up about this?
Yeah, I mean, like so
What?
many rappers, they've
Alcohol?
just alcohol,
Smoking?
going to
Drugs?
Thailand.
Going to Thailand, somebody has admitted this.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Yes.
And it's in the footage.
Yes.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah. So now that gives you a chance to, sort of go back and maybe.
Wow. Yeah.
But, like a lot of different people come and they have different vices.
Sure,
So
sure,
some
sure.
are addicted to, like.
Success. Has somebody said that? My vice
Addicted
is
to
just.
success? Nahi,
As
not
somebody
yet.
said, I'm just high on life, so I don't do any vices.
Wow, no, everybody has vices.
Okay, good. That's good.
And people who don't have vices, even I don't trust them. I just feel like it's
correct.
a facade.
It's made up. Yeah, it's a facade. Yeah.
But no, a lot of people have come and said like alcohol and everything.
Sure.
Honey Singh was very open about his vices.
Yeah, see, I mean, him
He
I
said,
would
like,
expect.
Exactly,
Yeah.
he said falling in love.
Yeah, let's go.
Yes, because he was like that I do too much of it at one
Interesting.
time. So I was
Yeah,
like,
we all
listen.
know since the Delhi concert that happened recently.
Yeah. Were you there?
No, I saw it on video.
Okay, my brother was there.
Okay,
And he was
interesting.
like
Ye
addressing
kya ho
Delhi
gaya?
ki sardi and everything. And I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
that's pretty much him. So that. I shot with him on the eve of Diwali 2
Okay.
years ago.
Interesting.
And he was almost, he was almost not about to give us time because he was like, नहीं करना Netflix की documentary shoot हो रही है उसमें भी तो करना है. And I just told him कि अच्छा ठीक है एक भी repeat question होगा तो आप उठ के चले जाना.
हाँ, nice.
Okay.
That's a great pitch.
So he said कि ऐसा हो ही नहीं सकता. मैंने कहा कि एक भी होगा तो उठ के चले जाना मैं कुछ नहीं
Nice.
बोलूंगी. So he said okay fine.
Nice.
He ended up sitting for 2 hours.
That's
And
amazing.
I was like yes. So
That's amazing.
those moments.
I mean, that goes to how incredible of a podcaster you are.
That's you being too kind and
No,
diplomatic, but
seriously,
I'll
like
take
I've
it.
had an incredible experience so far.
Okay, good. Yay. Okay, so before we take your leave, what is that one piece of advice that you'd like to give the young men watching this channel who, by the way, right now are going through a lot of maybe rejection, failure, uncertainty, and just are low on self-belief?
Just like if I were to give you 2 words, 3 words, emotionally regulate yourself. 3 words. This means that when you win, enjoy your win. Don't get seeped in by that win. When you lose, don't get too depressed. Don't get too angry. Don't get too laid back. Just moderate yourself as much as possible because that is going to keep you on for a much longer period of time in your life. Like it's basically like running a marathon. If you just sprint in the first kilometer, you're going to be panting towards the end of it. So emotionally regulate yourself and build up your emotional stamina as much as you can because that will take you much farther than just anything. And just you got it, dude. I've been you when I was 20, 22, 25, and I've faced all of these things: heartbreak, financial crisis, lack of self-belief, lack of self-esteem. And it all works out if you just do your thing, if you figure out what it is that you want to do. And you can figure that out by doing multiple things, failing at it, but eventually finding that one thing you want to do and just double down on that. फिर आगे पीछे देखो मत, keep your blinders on, just double down on that thing, especially in your career and then also in relationships. You figured out that this is the girl you want to be with, double down on that. Then don't think of अरे मेरे पास तो और भी options हो सकती है, मैं dating app पे चले जाता हूँ, all that. Just move on to the next step. And do this across all your relationships, across your career, across your life, across your hobbies. And I think you will get where you want to be. Life can be difficult, but it's not impossible. And I think emotionally regulating yourself will take you a long way.
That was lovely. Thank you so much, Viraj. It was
Thank you
a
so much,
pleasure
Radhika.
talking to you. I think when the time comes, I'll pick your brain on a lot more things.
Always.
But thank you so much for being a wonderful guest.
Thank you for having me.
Yes.